He said, I've been away a while, as you all know. I think that's when Egypt was having that trouble with Nassau, and they fighting going. He said, but I understand we had an explosion, and he said, let me explain something to you, people. He said, I can always build another building. He said, but nothing better happened to them little boys. He said, if anything happened to them little boys, he said, I'm firing a whole lot of people on the staff. He said, because they are the future. That was 1952, 53. He said, I don't care about no building. They blew up all the buildings. I can build some more buildings. He said, but nothing. I never did forget that.
Wow.
And he, but we had some really smart kids, and they went out into the world, and they're all over the world. They graduated around anywhere between 55 and 58. And the kids and they stopped that program. It's called the Basic College Program. It's sponsored by Ford Motor Company.
Wow.
Yeah, for Ford Foundation. But they stopped that program, and the little brainy kids that come into college. Morehouse had a chapter. Fisk University had a chapter, and Hampton had a chapter, I think.
Okay.
And they just going all over the country, picking up these little brainy kids and bringing. I thought it was a great program, but I guess the money had something to do with it. But I see, and they were kids who weren't interested in money. Mm-hmm. They were trying to invent something or do something.
Right.
And guy had nerve to ask me the other day at the YMCA where I work out, what is China? I was talking about the globalization of basketball and all. And I said, I can only speak about basketball. I said, but the Chinese NBA sees that there's a need for China to come into this thing. I was in Beijing. I said, well, I was in Beijing, China, in 1994 doing a basketball clinic. And when I walked in, all these kids were sitting down. And they introduced me, had an interpreter, introduced me. This is Coach Ben Jobe from the States, blah, blah, blah. And I talked to him, and I said, let me have all the guards down on this end. And I turned to walk away, and I turned back, and I said, no, the guards. And the interpreter said, these are guards. And there was 6, 7, 6, 8. It had 300 kids up there. The shortest kid was about 6'4" and a half, and the tallest one was 7'4". Just kids, And so I said, oh, boy, it's a new day coming. Like I said, they were coming. Man, the Chinese are long. I did a basketball clinic in Holland, and I went to the museum. I always check out the cultures in the museum when I go anywhere. And they showed how the Dutch people used to live. They had little beds and made into the wall, and it's about half the size of this table, and this is where the husband and wife slept. About this wide, and then the children would sleep down on this end. That's where it was years ago. Now, the Dutch are probably one of the tallest races on earth, ethnic groups on earth.
Wow.
Women are 6'3" and 6'4", big old blonde women. So things have changed,
Right.
And,
right.
The Wachusett used to be the tallest. That's I think that boy Thabit played in the NBA. I think he's still in. Was with Memphis, he was a crazy kid, but I think he's part out of that tribe. He's from Tanzania, but Tanzania right on the border where the giant people live, the Wachusett. We call them Wachusett in the old days. Now they call them just Tutsis. They live up in the mountains, and they had a civil war, and man, I'll never forgive the American government. And even Clinton said that we didn't do what we should have done. They had a civil war and almost wiped out a whole race of giant people. And I was in the Congo about 3-4 years ago, and asked people, where are the Tutsis? Where are those? The guy says there's a few of them around, and some of them in wheelchairs, some of them on crutches. What happened during that civil war between the Tutsis and the Bahutus, they would catch them and cut the legs off at the knees, them 7-footers, and they cut them off, old men, women, whatever. And so the tribe is diminished down to almost nothing. And we knew what was going on. We knew they had a civil war, and they could have saved those people. There weren't that many anyway. Yes, so maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people in that tribe. But anyway, they're about all gone now. And the world could have stopped that. They could have stopped that. It's not. But we always wait late, or we don't do anything unless they got some oil or gold or something. And, you know, we got to have something that we can get some benefits from. You know, so we wouldn't get no benefits, so we let it go and let it go. And great race of people. They go back to the days of King Solomon. And but the guys like JR, they're the future. Yeah, JR is the future, and I hope people realize it, but I'm telling you now, people don't read. I was trying to explain to them about what the Chinese is doing, and the guy said, what do they contribute to American culture? Man, take off your clothes and look in the label and you see.
Right,
you know,
right.
Science, they got science, technology, on and on and on. But I was telling them about this Russian guy who bought the New Jersey Nets.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to explain to them about the Mujahideen and jihad and all that. Things that we learned in college in 1952, 53, Bush and the CIA, they never heard of jihad until they ran into Osama bin Laden.
Right.
And Saddam Hussein. Now, what is this jihad? Because if they understood jihad, they wouldn't start messing with them people in the first place.
Right.
If people want to die, they go to heaven. Muhammad promised them that, but you got to be killed in the jihad. So then, but they definitely never heard of Mujahideen. So it was just, and I was explaining to them that when Brezhnev, when the USSR broke up in there, JR must know a lot of this stuff. When the USSR broke up and they went back to being in Russia, I think Brezhnev may have been the leader. But anyway, Putin took over.
Mm-hmm.
And Putin had, they had, I think, 22 zillionaires. One of them, unfortunately or accidentally, was poisoned. And the other one, and one is in prison. So I left about 20.